Alright, what's up, guys? It's K-Rod here. I'm back with another good live for today. Uh, I'm gonna just make this a quick little video because I need to sleep. So, this is gonna be 10 minutes or less, but let's get right to it. I'm just gonna rant a little bit about League of Legends. For those of you that like League or follow any form of video games, I do post commentary on it. So whatever you guys may be interested, I will try to be, straight up on it when it comes to League. I personally don't really give a shit about League of Legends. I think League of Legends is probably one of the crappiest video games made. As far as community goes, the game itself is pretty good. I mean, I'm never going to doubt the creators or the developers at first hand that made League of Legends into a good video game. But here's really where the problem still remains. It's mostly to do with toxic teammates and just the mechanics of champions that people play with, where people do not really care to learn their champion and they care more about just inting and being the type of character to throw away good games. Even when the game can be won or the game is already lost, but the team does not make the effort to try to win to make the game a bigger comeback, because whatever you do in a game in League, you can ever make a change by getting shutdowns off of enemy team comps, and it makes it easier for you to make that comeback in the sense of what you can do in team fights to make your you know win rate get higher. But it's mostly to do with the MMR of team comps to make your playstyle a bit more convertible or conventional in the sense of you winning easier, if not less harder games to be won. So I'm going to talk about the Gwen issue. Recently, there was a new champion by the name of Gwen. She's basically like a Katarina mixed with a Viego, like lifesteal, weird, immuno, 1v1 champion type player. I've never really liked Gwen. She's like a little bit more of like a one-trick pony. She relies too much off of her immunity to keep herself alive. She's almost like Fizz in a way, where she has high damage but very squishy. She could easily die. Really, the only thing that really makes her powerful is really just her little immuno shield, where like if I'm Mordekaiser and I try to ult her, I can't do that because she's immune. And actually, no, I think I can counter that if I'm not mistaken. I could actually use that as a means to destroy her immunity, and now she's weaker in the death realm. I don't know. I'm gonna have to test that out one day. But basically, let's just talk about Gwen as a champion. She is good when it comes to team fighting, as a little 1v2 or maybe like 1v1, I would say. Like, but the 1v1 trades, like, if it's a good Gwen player, yeah, I'll give her props. But if it's like a really shitty Gwen player and they're just getting picks off of your stupid teammates that's feeding that enemy Gwen champion, then that's where Gwen really pisses you off, because it's like you don't have to be good to play her. You just have to have that little, one hit shot potential, and then once you get the shutdown off of an enemy, you can start racking up all that gold money, and then it makes it easier for you to just dominate the game. See, now for Gwen as a whole, as a champion, she is good when it comes to survivability, but damage wise, it's like she shouldn't be able to be getting all this extra free damage, and she gets healing on top of that once she gets her Riftmaker, which, Riftmaker is such a underrated item in my opinion, because I run that on Mordekaiser. I sometimes do it for Nasus. Isn't really the type of champion to be strong using that type of item. It might be good with Night Harvester if you're wanting to get healing and CDR or cooldown reduction. But when it comes to just like the item alone gives Gwen the ability to Omni Vamp a lot quicker off her jungle camps, or just even in the top lane where CSing is just so much easier with her. But I wouldn't even say that. I think Gwen is very susceptible, and if that Gwen player is gonna get picked off by a full AD lethality type champion, she's definitely gonna get killed to a champion like Lee Sin, Master Yi, Ezreal, Rengar, any of what the top tier champions that are really good at one shotting people, or just getting Gwen to a low health where it makes like the game 10 times harder for you to play. And I mean, I just recently had like such a horrible game with like my friends, which it wasn't like my friend's fault. It was mostly to do with the teammates. Like I had a Hecarim that didn't know how to play jungle correctly, and then I had a support Thresh that inted like two to three kills to the enemy team, which gave them the fucking advantage to beat us late or like mid to late game, which it didn't make any sense because like I was playing Mordekaiser in the top lane, and I went up against like a Jax player, like in case you guys know who Jax is, and it was absolutely just annoying because of the Jax player, he wasn't beating me. I was like simply playing safe, playing passive aggressive, and this Jax player just comes out of nowhere and just starts hitting me with all these crazy skill shots. And then when I try to help out like my teammates in team fights, it's like they got me killed to the Jax and to the Gwen player because there's barely any communication. There's barely any ping being shown to me as a top lane Mordekaiser, which I was gonna play Nasus that game, so in pre-champion selection, my Nasus got banned from the enemy ban list phase, and it was just horrible. I was trying so hard to like keep my cool with using Mordekaiser, and I mean, I love Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is an amazing champion. He's like one of like my favorite champs that I personally love using, but I just love using Nasus more because Nasus into Jax is such an easy matchup where Jax, he can't even beat you. Like every single time when Jax tries to use his little W with the Q and E R combination, it's like he cannot fuck with Nasus. Like Nasus is such a deadly champion where once I get those like 400 to 500 stacks, Jax is super screwed. And he knew, and I think personally, like I'm a victim of being data mined because I kind of felt like that the enemy team, they knew what champion I was gonna run. Like I don't know how that was possible, but something in my mind told me that I got data mined by a bunch of jackass piece of shits. And this Gwen, by the way, she went 10-1 or 12-2. I forgot, but it's like she wasn't even supposed to be like that. The mid laner was Shen. My one friend was playing Irelia, and then his other friend was playing Twisted Fate into the bot lane. And I was playing Mordekaiser top, and Hecarim was in the jungle, and Thresh was support. So, either way, like our team comp, I would say it didn't make any sense because I kind of felt like, our team was like super squishy from at the very beginning because you had like, because you had TF and you sort of had Irelia in the position of getting killed, which I mean, my friend, I'm just going to call him, I'll just call him Jay. But Jay, he did his thing. He managed to contain lane against Shen, which, don't get it twisted. Like, I mean, like, the enemy team comp that they had was pretty good. But I knew, like, me as Mordekaiser, I can easily dominate that team. And I think it had more to do with, like, my build. I think I should have went tank. But I was, like, a little bit curious if I wanted to do that. I should have probably just went you know, just basically regular Rift Maker going into like Ninja Tabby, and then get like Thormail leading into a Demonic Embrace, and then I end it with a Spirit Visage with a Cosmic Drive or Zanya's. And I did have Zanya's as like my third item, but I think what I should have done is that I should have gotten me Demonic Embrace or Thormail so I could have like the Grievous Wounds onto Mordekaiser. Because once I have Thormail and Demonic, I can easily kill Jax. So the Jax was at a disadvantage if I do have my tankiness. And I didn't even have any of that. Which I, like, part of me felt like I should have just went Thormail as my third item. And then get Spirit. And then I could just focus on getting Demonic later. Because Demonic is only going to give me my 350 health, but that's going to give me like my magic damage on top of my magic resistance, which, you know, it's good, but it doesn't really help me, you know, in the sense of winning a team fight yet, which I can win. Like, for those of you that don't know me, I technically one-trick Mordekaiser, as poor Professor has me labeled down, but I wouldn't even say that, because I play a lot of Nasus, just for the sake of winning games, and I just think I'm naturally more connected with Nasus over Mordekaiser, because Mordekaiser, I don't know if Riot had buffed him, which I know Mordekaiser, he did get a buff recently, but I think it was in the jungle. But I know in the top lane he could be a little bit powerful, or could be maybe like just balanced. I'm not too sure. I want to say he's still powerful. I mean, his 1v5 potential is definitely there. It's just that, what does Mordekaiser do after the first kill of using his ultimate? Does Mordekaiser have any healing abilities that gives him the ultimate sustain to just walk through enemies and destroy them? And I think that answer can be questioned. I think that question can be answered in the sense of, yes, Mordekaiser can 1v5, but the problem is that, does he get the right setups for the 1v5? Does his team be there for him, in the sense of, like, okay, if I have Soraka on my team, and Soraka, she's like 0-6, and I'm like 6-0. I have like 3 of like my items. I have Demonic, Sorcerer's Boots, and I have, Rift Maker. Do I go in on a team that is fed, when I know that Mordekaiser, if I ult one of like their strongest guys, that makes me, 1, super powerful, 2, I'm able to win if Soraka heals me, or 3, I can just kill that one enemy, get the fuck out, and then I can reset. And I think the answer is, I rather just go and kill them, because 1, if Soraka's going to be there to help me, then I'm going to kill the enemy team. The enemy team can't do anything to me once I get that first kill. And not to mention, for any of you Mordekaiser mains, Mordekaiser can still steal the enemy stats even if he loses in the Death Realm. So in the Death Realm, he technically takes away the enemy's buffs and the enemy's skill sets in sense of power and damage penetration. So that little bar on his R, where after you kill an enemy, it probably signifies to show that you've taken their soul. So that, on top of taking their stats, makes you 10 times more stronger as a Mordekaiser player. So you're basically more dangerous, in a team fight, theoretically, to kill the enemies a lot quicker, because Mordekaiser has more, ravenous destruction when it comes to getting that first kill off the enemy. And now you can't even beat him, because Mordekaiser, he gets healing, he gets damage as he takes more damage, because remind you, that W makes him more powerful, and it heals everything that he has taken. So that white little bar that's filled up, every time when he hits you and he takes damage, he's refilling that energy, again, to make himself more powerful. And that's why, like, I really just wish Riot Games or Riot itself can really just consider reworking Mordekaiser similar to the old version, or just have, a Mordekaiser similar to Nasus, where Mordekaiser, he puts up much more deadlier fights, which I'm not saying Mordekaiser, he can't put up dead fights, because back in Season 10 Mordekaiser was a god. Like, I'm not even kidding. I think Season 10 Mordekaiser was absolutely broken. Like, no matter what anybody tries to say to me, oh, Mordekaiser, he's not that powerful, blah, blah, blah. Mordekaiser, he was a god. You could not touch him. Even if Nasus tried to F with Mordekaiser, a Season 10 Mordekaiser, if you have the freedom and the ability to choose whatever items you want, you have the ultimate ability to take everybody down. And the issue is just simply of the fact that if your team is not there, and let's just say after you kill Nasus in the Death Realm, and Nasus has over 600 to 700 stacks, you've taken his stats, but you've taken his buffs of attack damage and all that crap, and now you're dealing damage to the enemy. So that makes you 10 times more difficult to die. And if you build tank, or you build like any form of like AP bruiser scaling, you're gonna be beating the shit out of people. And it's so easy because it's like, there's so many times where people tell other people, oh, well, Mordekaiser, he can't carry blah blah blah. Yes, he can. The problem is that Mordekaiser, he has been nerfed to the point, which I don't want to say Riot nerfed him, because he is buffed and he is super duper powerful if you let him just get that one little pick, of a shutdown that gives him like 1 to 2,000, worth of gold. He's gonna be stopping you. Like, I've been in a game with Mordekaiser where I went 0-4 against a fucking I forgot what champion that I was facing. I want to say I was facing a man, I forgot. I think I was facing a Yone or a Jax. But basically, I was losing lane. I was 0-4. And then I farmed for like a little bit. I got a little bit of more CS just to catch up close with Yone. And I was literally stopping the whole team. When I got that first kill off of the enemy team, that gave me the ultimate advantage to just beat the crap out of everybody. I was smacking them left and right. They couldn't do anything to me. And I was helping out the team by making it easier for me to get more destructive, how should I say? To get more destructive combinations, but also utilize more tactical, plays for Mordekaiser. And basically what I'm saying is that Mordekaiser, he is a very beatable champion if the bad Mordekaiser player does not know what he or she is doing. But Mordekaiser is the type of champion that can be extremely unbeatable if you let Mordekaiser get those kills, or if you let a Mordekaiser take advantage in lane bullying, other champions, in the sense of, he's able to do the things that most pro players don't want him to do, which is lane bully, use like the wave to his own advantage, making Mordekaiser get his first or second items, and then I would say just making him super powerful with him getting that ultimate, and then even if he loses in the Death Realm, he's still taking that enemy's 10% stats. And then if he has like Azanias with his build, it's like Mordekaiser, he's a problem, because he's like super annoying with that Q and then the W for the healing and then the E. But let me just like sum it up with Gwen. Gwen is a good champion when a Gwen player gets fed. And the biggest solution that I would have to this is that you have to pressure the shit out of Gwen. Gwen, she's not the type of champion where she makes it easy for you to kill her. She's just really annoying with her immunity circle that gives her all immunity to all CC or anything that stuns her or hits her. So, yeah, I really don't enjoy that. I think it destroys the game, but I really hope that she can get nerfed, because I heard Riot buffed her like super much because she was still getting beat in high elo. But I think in the time being, she's gonna be treated just like Viego in a way. Viego was super duper broken the minute he came out, and then next minute, he basically just fell off. I mean, he is powerful, but Viego very susceptible to a lot of assassin type AD, heavy reliant one-shotters. And I think if Viego gets that first kill off of someone, and it's someone that's weak, he's very weak late game, in the sense of he really can't take enemies' souls unless it favors what he's doing. And I kind of think that just makes him weak. And I would say his kit is kind of weird too, with his Q just being a regular sword hit, and then the W is like a dash knockup, and then the E is more like a stealth thing. But either way, it's decent to say the least. But I think that's pretty much what I needed to cover about Gwen. She was just like the type of champion that I wanted to rant about today. And yeah, so this is Karen Rodriguez signing out, and thank you. Bye. More videos to come.